Hey everybody, this is Captain Unusual, and I figured it's high time I show you my coin collection and what I'm doing with it. I know there are a lot of coin hoarders, penny hoarders, and coin collecting enthusiasts on YouTube, so I figured this video might get a fair number of views. As you can see, I use 2 liter bottles to store the coins in. They're really cheap. Hi, Zara. Crashing the video again. This is my second attempt at this video, and the second time she's crashed it, but she's cute. Yep, that's Zara. But yeah, so I'll start with the quarters. Uh, I only saved 1965 and older. 65 quarters were the first year to be made with nickel and not silver. Uh, every quarter you see that's 1964 and older is 90% silver. But the 65 quarters are also worth something, so I saved those too. Since they're their first year that quarters were not silver, they are collectible. They're not worth nearly as much, but they're worth something. Here is 1957 to 1969 pennies. An interesting thing here, you can kind of tell. See, I go through coin rolls and I just go through the change that I get at cash registers, and you can see kind of like the the common how common the different years of coins are uh their by the by the ratio. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, she's just such an attention hog. But by the ratio of the different decades to each other. So you have the 1957 to 69. 1956 and older are wheat pennies. So 57 was the first year that the Lincoln pennies were, or the Lincoln Memorial pennies were minted. 1970s, which is by far the most common decade to find them these days, is the 1970s. 1989 to 1981, a very short span there. 1982, this one's kind of interesting because 1982 was the last year that coins were made with 95% copper. These days they're mostly zinc and they're copper plated, just a very thin copper plating. And I don't know if you've looked at pennies these days, but they're kind of crap. I mean, honestly, American coins in general are kind of just made very cheaply, which, I mean, it's economics. I mean, they have to do it because copper is actually worth something. So it's actually the average copper penny, which is pre 1982 or older, is these days worth almost 2 cents. The copper inside them is worth almost 2 cents. So it's not practical to make them out of copper anymore. So they had to stop in 1982. And roughly half of 1982 pennies are copper and half or 95% copper and half are not. So I save those, but I keep them separate. And this bottle is just a single year 1982. And then in this bottle, I have pre 1997 Canadian and wheat pennies. I put those together because both of those are very rare. These days, if you go through coin rolls, you'll still find a wheat penny every so often, but it's like I find one like about like once a week or so. They're not common, and I go through probably one roll of pennies a day, which is 50 of them, 50 cents. One roll of pennies is 50 pennies. And hi, Zara. 50 pennies, and probably on average about 12 of them are 1982 or older, about which is what about a third. Let's see, 15, 30, 45. It's about a quarter of them, and I'll find only like one per week that's a wheat penny. But the ones that I find tend to be in pretty good shape because they were very well made back then. But the average wheat penny is worth about 30 cents, so they're definitely worth holding on to. And like I said, this video is being made in 2017, and at this point in history, when you go through when you go through coin rolls, uh, you'll find you'll find about one a week if you go through one coin roll a day. So uh, they are getting rare, and they're definitely worth saving. And I want to make it very clear that I'm saving all of these for mainly for collectability. Um, I was born in 1985, so I figure that collecting pennies that were pennies and coins in general. It actually segues into the last two bottles here, which are pre 1986 nickels and pre 1986 dimes. I save nickels and dimes that are 1985 and older, just because 85 was the year I was born. And the logic there is that by the time I'm, say, 75, those coins should be much rarer than they are now. Um, probably comparable to the rarity of wheat pennies right now. Maybe not quite as rare because more coins are produced nowadays and have been for the last few decades than were in the days of the wheat penny and the buffalo nickel. But they're still going to be less common, and I'm kind of I'm kind of betting that they'll be collectible when I'm old. And even if they're not, there's no harm done because interest rates are in the crapper anyway right now, and it doesn't really hurt anything to save these coins. You can always take them to the bank and turn them back, have them turned back into bills. Just dump them all into the coin machine and have them turn them back into bills. But this is my collection right now as of July of 2017, and maybe I'll update in a year or so and show you what I've got at that point. But it's a fun hobby. It's kind of similar. It's almost kind of like gambling, except you never lose anything. You only win. You either win or you break even, but you never lose. So it's kind of a similar rush, but it's a lot safer and a lot less risk. And it's a fun hobby. It's a fun hobby. So this is Captain Unusual signing off.